Hello plant lovers, Matthew in Melbourne welcoming you to my channel, Hello Plant Lovers, where I, an amateur, stumble through the path of growing cold, cool, intermediate orchids here in Melbourne in Australia, and I don't have a greenhouse or grow lights or humidifiers or anything. Basically, they either have to grow inside or outside or get out of the pool. And today, ta-da, not one, but two boxes have arrived. Why, I hear you cry? I will tell you, Melbourne is in lockdown for the 5th time. So we have been collectively in lockdown for 6 months over the last 18 months. So what happens when you're locked down? You start to browse a little bit through orchid websites and go to those sections which say other and start looking at other types of orchids that you might not normally have considered. But as I only grow cold, cool, intermediate orchids, it's always interesting to see what might be out there that I haven't seen before or might be perfect for my climate. I'm not really into rare species orchids. For me, it is more about the beauty of the flower, I have to say. So let's see what is inside these boxes. Okay, first cab off the rank, and in fact, I will get rid of the smaller one. Always do the big one first, like a child at Christmas. Now, this is from a seller called, let me get the top, Dark Star, and I'll put the links to them below, and they are a specialist in species orchids. Now, as I said, I'm not a collector as such, so I'm not really hung up on the fact that something is a species orchid or not. But often they are really quite beautiful flowers and kind of, not as overblown perhaps as their hybrid cousins. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to tip the camera up so you can see what's going on. All right, here we are. Let's have a look. Oh my goodness. So the other great thing about Dark Star is that they often sell divisions. Look at the size of that. They also do sell seedlings, but a lot of their plants are divisions. Oh, I've gone COVID crazy. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And this one is Miltoniodes karwinskii, also known as Oncidium karwinskii. And this is, I think, a species Oncidium type that is a cool grower. I will just Google to make sure that's the truth. Yes, this is a cool growing species Oncidium, cool to intermediate, with the most amazing flower that's been used to hybridize lots of other types of Oncidiums. But look how healthy and gorgeous that is. Not bad root system by the looks of it in sphagnum moss. So there we are, number one. Next cab off the rank, and look at how healthy that is as well. Anguloa clowesii. Now, this is a fabulous cool growing orchid which has amazing, almost yellow tulip-like flowers quite close to the base of the pseudobulb. And in my inexperienced juvenile state, bought a flask of this and promptly killed them all. One had survived out of about 12, but it actually has just died. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to get myself a division. So here we are, a beautiful, healthy looking division of Anguloa clowesii. And plant lovers, the last piece of the puzzle is another division of Cattleya maxima. Why? Because my dear, dear maxima is no longer with us. I did make a video about that, which I will link here, and the plant just developed black rot. The new growths, one of them just went black and deflated almost overnight. I trimmed that and I treated the wound, seemed to be fine. Then about a month later, the second new growth did exactly the same, incredibly quickly. And then the remaining mature pseudobulb did, so I had to bin her. But here we have a new division. So I am hoping I'm going to learn some lessons and treat this with a bit more love and respect. Okay, next box. This is from an orchid company called Orchids on Newbold, which is a grower in Melbourne, in Victoria. So not in Melbourne City, but in the state. Interesting then, because obviously whatever they're growing is, you'd assume, climatically used to Melbourne. Obviously they might have heated greenhouses, etc. But a lot of what they do sell is cold, cool and intermediate. And I actually can't remember what this was. This is COVID madness. Plant lovers, COVID madness. Okay, let's have a look, removing the invoice because no one likes an invoice. And there we have it. Is there one or two? Goodness me. Oh, there's two. Now, let's see what this little baby here is. And I think it is a baby. Howeara Mini-Primi. So the Howeara are a miniature orchid, well, a small orchid, and it is more of an intermediate grower. So I am not going to grow this outside, but it can certainly be very happy as an intermediate plant indoors. And I'm essentially going to grow this as I would any of my Oncidiums, and most of the Oncidiums that I have don't like the particularly chilly winter temperatures in Melbourne outdoors. So I tend to keep them all indoors during winter and they summer outside, and I think this one will do just that. And I'm wondering, I think just in there is the hint of a spike. Goodness me. Well, we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, very healthy looking plant. And next off the rank and the last, well, it's not the last because I have actually ordered more things. Oops, naughty me. This one is a Cymbidium. Cymbidiums are very easy to grow here in Melbourne. It's kind of the perfect climate. I grow them outdoors under dapple shade. They like a bit of a chill. Anyway, I'll do a Cymbidium video because one of mine is just about to open. But this one is quite famous. It is called Cymbidium Kiwi Midnight Geyserland. Geyserland twice. There we are. And if you Google it, you will see that it is a very, very, very dark flower. And I'm not kind of, obsessed with black flowers, but it's just quite beautiful. And I have an Oncidium that's just come out, which I'll make a video of, which I grew it from a seedling, not my own seedling. I bought it as a seedling, so it took 2 years to get to flowering point, which is great. It has 2 spikes. One of them's just opened and it's kind of not the color I imagined. So we might have to do a disappointing flower video next. Anyway, this one hopefully is going to right that wrong. As you can see, it's probably, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 years old as a seedling. So it'll be at least another couple of years before it gets to a flowering size. But Cymbidiums are really easy and low maintenance for me, but I'll do a video about that later on. So there we are, plant lovers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 fantastic new orchids for me to play with. So I will put all the links below of the companies that I bought them from. Obviously they're in Australia, so if you're not, that's tricky, but you can maybe have a look at their websites anyway to get ideas about the sort of things that they sell. I will certainly do a Cymbidium video because I've been disappointed. Anyway, but we'll get to that. This one, the Howeara, I think that's how you pronounce it, if that is a spike and if it matures and survives transit, I'll certainly make a little video about that when it comes out so we can see how it's doing. The others I will repot, and as you can see, they are such large divisions that they are flowering size, so we'll see. The last time that I bought a Cattleya maxima division from these guys, it bloomed within 6 months because, as you can see, they're quite mature pseudobulbs. So there we are. Very happy with this little haul. Plant lovers, do let me know what you've been up to during COVID lockdowns as well. If you've been slightly obsessed about buying a little more than perhaps you would normally, I'm curious to know. My other half said to me the other day, what is your sort of big learning from COVID? And I said, an orchid obsession. Anyway, it's harmless, I feel harmless. So plant lovers, wherever you are, take care. I hope all's well with your orchids. I hope if you've been COVID shopping, you'll let me know what you've been buying. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, bye-bye.